Hey y'all, it's Sally, and today I have a book haul because I have no self-control. So recently I went book shopping a couple times. I went to Second & Charles, which is a used bookstore in the South, and I had some store credit. So I got a couple of things there, and then Barnes & Noble had their giant like 50% off book haul sale, and I went a little crazy there. But I have 6 books to show you guys today that I've accumulated in the past couple weeks, and let's just get into it. So the first book I picked up was from the used bookstore. It was like $3.50, and that is The Duff by Cody Keplinger. I adore this movie. I love it so much. I watch it all the time. I'm in love with Wesley Rush. Everything about this movie is perfection. It's one of my favorite teen movies, but I've heard that the book is a lot different from the movie. And so I really want to read it and see what those differences are and see whether I like it or don't like it. I've heard very mixed things about the book, but I'm really excited to give it a try and to like delve into the world of Wesley and Bianca in book format. So the basic plot of The Duff is that there is a girl named Bianca who is not very popular, but she has very popular friends, and then she finds out that she might be something called a Duff, which is the designated ugly fat friend. So Bianca starts to remove herself from her friend group when she realizes that she might be considered a Duff, and in the midst of all of that drama, she ends up kissing her next door neighbor, Wesley Rush, who she's known since she was a little girl, and she thinks he's pretty slimy and he's a jock, and she's definitely not into him at the start of the book. But once they kiss, they start an enemies with benefits type of shindig, which is slightly different than what happens in the movies, so I'm excited to see their relationship in that aspect. Next, I have probably my most anticipated book of the entire year, and that is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I've already read it. I gave it 5 stars. It's incredible. I read it in like a day. The basic plot of On the Come Up is that we have our main character, Bree. Bree's father was an underground hip-hop legend, but he was shot and killed when Bree was very young. So she is trying to make a name for herself independently of what people thought of her father by making her own music and participating in rap battles in the town, and some things start to go a little bit awry. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to ruin anything, but it's a really wonderful story about Bree finding the strength to speak out for what she believes in, and about Bree deciding to stay true to herself even when it might be easier to do something very different. And one of the things I like about Angie Thomas's writing so much is that you truly see the complexity of human beings. I will read anything that she picks up, and I strongly recommend that you go and pick up On the Come Up and read it and tell me what you think. It's so good. Next, at Barnes & Noble, I went to their big sale, and the first thing I picked up was Pride by E.B. Zaboy. I am so excited to read this book. Pride and Prejudice is one of my all-time favorite books. This is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice in which we have an Afro-Latina main female character and a black main male character, and in this story, Darius and his family move in next door to Zuri and her family, and Darius's family is much wealthier and well-to-do than Zuri's family, and the two are, at the beginning, just like in Pride and Prejudice, not friends, and they don't really want anything to do with each other. But as the story goes on, they develop feelings for each other, and drama ensues. So I'm very excited to get to this. Pride and Prejudice is one of my all-time favorites, and I can't wait to read a retelling that features such cool diversity and representation. Next, I have a book that I'm so excited about. I'm gonna pick this up so soon, and that is After the Fire by Will Hill, which is like the best name ever. Yes, Will Hill. And I picked this up because I saw Kat from Paperback Dreams talking about it, and it is a book about a cult. Other than that, I don't know much, and I don't really want to. It's a thriller. I want it to thrill me, and I don't want to go in with any preconceived notions about what this is. All I know is it follows a main character who is in a cult or was in a cult and has to deal with the aftermath of being in a cult. And it looks so creepy and wonderful, and I'm so excited. I think cults are so interesting. I'll read anything about a cult. So I'm really excited to get to this one. I think I'm gonna pick it up very soon. Next, I have Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, which is like one of the most beautiful I just love this cover. I'm obsessed with it. And I originally heard about this book actually from Reese Witherspoon because it's one of her book club picks for Reese's Book Club, and I saw her advertising it on Instagram. One of the things I'm most excited for about this book is that it's set in the South. It's actually set in a coastal town in North Carolina, and I live in South Carolina. And so I have experienced my fair share of the South. I really like reading books that are set in the South when they're done well, and from what I can gather about what I've read about this book, it is definitely an ode to the nature of the South, which I really appreciate because I have grown up 20 minutes from a swamp, and this is set in marshland. And so I'm really excited to see this story about Kaya, who is known as the Marsh Girl. I think she's a suspect for a murder, and then two men come into the town, and I'm pretty sure she develops feelings for them, and there's a romance from there, but I'm not positive. And again, I don't really want to spoil myself or like look into it too much. I feel like this book is going to be really atmospheric, and that's one of my favorite kind of reads. And so I'm really excited, and I'm excited to see kind of where I'm from represented a little bit. I'm really excited to get to this one. I think I'm going to pick it up really soon. The last book that I picked up recently is An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I think it's Pekkanen. And this is a psychological thriller that sounds so interesting. And I haven't read very many psychological thrillers, but when I saw what this one was about, I had to pick it up. It basically follows a girl who signs up to be part of a psych experiment because she will get compensated and will remain completely anonymous. But throughout the psych experiment, she starts to realize that maybe the whole thing has been manipulated and the person conducting the experiment is controlling her life in ways that she didn't expect. To me, that sounds fascinating, so I'm really excited to get into this. So those are the books that I've gotten recently. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below and let me know if you've read any of these books and if you really liked them. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you with the next video. We're done here. Goodbye.